systematically throughout India and Russia and Europe, United States. So when such a empowered devotee leaves his body, it's very important to remember his accomplishments and to see and to remember his accomplishments and glorify him, because he's a dear disciple of Srila Prabhupada who sacrificed everything to please his Guru Dev, and because of that was given the knowledge and power to spread this movement very dynamically wherever he went. And he went to a lot of places, which is all over India, Europe, and also the United States. So we want to remember Gopala Krishna Maharaj today. Pray for his continued service. He's definitely with Srila Prabhupada right now, and we should be very happy to have had association with them and continue that association by following in his footsteps of spreading Krishna consciousness. It's very auspicious to know that just recently they opened the 18th temple in Delhi. That's not, that is such a tremendous achievement to have 18 temples in one city. So that just shows, and it's not, I mean, Maharaj didn't only open temples in Delhi, and opened them all over India and Europe and the United States. So we're very fortunate to have had association with him. We pray for his continued service to Srila Prabhupada. For sure he's with him right now. And we'll always remember him with great respect, all his wonderful accomplishments.
Yeah.
Okay, so continuing today, text 46.
We finished the that chapter, Maharaj. We're going to start the next one.
We finished the whole chapter.
Yeah. Yesterday was the ending of 14th chapter.
What?
We ended the 14th chapter.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so chapter 15, description, the kingdom of God.
Wow.
You see how wonderful this Srimad Bhagavatam is. We're going to have a description of the kingdom of God. This is information that you can never get anywhere else, because nobody else knows this except Krishna. Okay, so it says, Maitreya said, Sri Maitreya said, this is text 1. My dear Vidura, Diti, the wife of the sage Kashyapa, could understand that the sons within her womb would be a cause of disturbance to the demigods. As such, he continuously bore the powerful semen of Kashyapa Muni, which was meant to give trouble to others for 100 years. So Diti is such a powerful yogini, means the lady who follows, who has the yogic powers by her chastity, and that she wanted to spare the world of the disturbance that her sons were going to do when they appeared. So she kept them in her womb for a very, very long time. And for 100 years, to see what a powerful woman she was. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The great sage Sri Maitreya was explaining to Vidura the activities of the demigods, including Lord Brahma. When Diti heard from her husband that the sons she bore within her abdomen would be causes of disturbances to the demigods, she was not very happy. There are two classes of men, devotees and non-devotees. Non-devotees are called demons, and devotees are called demigods. No sane man or woman can tolerate the non-devotees giving trouble to devotees. Diti, therefore, was reluctant to give birth to her babies. She waited for 100 years so that at least she could save the demigods from the disturbance for that period.
Wow.
Imagine that, holding such children in your womb for 100 years. It's unbelievable.
And twins.
Hmm?
And twins.
Yeah. Terrible. Text 2. By the force of the pregnancy of Diti, the light of the sun and moon was impaired in all the planets, and the demigods of various planets, being disturbed by that force, asked the creator of the universe, Brahma, what is this expansion of darkness in all directions? To see how powerful a woman can be. One woman can put darkness all over the universe and disturb the minds of all the demigods on various planets. Purport by Srila Prabhupada in text 2. It appears from the verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, from this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, that the sun is the source of all light for all the planets in the universe. The modern scientific theory, which states that there are many suns in each universe, is not supported by this verse. It is understood that in each universe there is only one sun which supplies light to all the planets. In Bhagavad Gita, the moon is also stated to be one of the stars. There are many stars, and when we see them glittering at night, we can understand that they are reflectors of light. Just as moonlight is a reflection of sunlight, other planets also reflect sunlight, and there are many other planets which cannot be seen by our naked eyes. The demoniac influence of the suns in the womb of Diti expanded darkness throughout the universe. So here's some very important information. That is, there are many other planets which cannot be seen by our naked eyes. So when people say, oh, the astronauts went to the moon, let's see, they think they went to the moon, but they probably went to one of these other planets that are unseen. And because the moon is a heavenly planet, it's not some abandoned, planet, no inhabitants and no, water, and in many ways, they has a it's not really a wonderful place to go to. The moon is a heavenly planet. The demigods go there, and they drink the somarasa that increases their lifespan by 10,000 years every time they drink it. So the description by the astronauts or the scientists of the moon means that they are not going to the moon. They've gone to some other type of planet. Because the moon, as I say, is a heavenly planet. The devas go to the moon to drink the soma rasa. And every time you drink it, it increases your lifespan by 10. So scientists don't really understand any of these things. And they're being, let's say, tricked by the demigods that don't want their, let's say, peaceful existence disturbed by nonsense people coming on their planet. So, and so here we learn there are many other planets which cannot be seen by our naked eyes. The demoniac influence of the sons and the womb of Diti expanded darkness throughout the universe. So in Bhagavad Gita, the moon is also stated to be one of the stars. There are many stars, and when we see them glittering at night, we can understand that they are reflectors of light. Just as moonlight is a reflection of sunlight, other planets also reflect sunlight, and there are many other planets which cannot be seen by our naked eyes. Well, what is it saying? It's saying that in this universe, there's only one sun. All the others are stars. And but that's not what the scientists say. In fact, who cares about what they say? We should understand by the statements of bona fide devotees what is the real truth about the universe. There's only one sun in the universe, and all the other reflectors of the sun's light are stars, including the moon. Okay.
Maharaj,
Yeah.
according to Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, is there only one moon also, Maharaj? There's so many stars, and moon is one of the stars.
Yes.
Is there only one moon?
Well, you just said that it's a star.
But all stars don't look like the moon, right? Like they don't, at least from Earth, they don't look the same.
How do you know
We can only see one moon.
that? Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean the other moons or the other stars are what, small or something like that? Is that what you're implying?
I don't know. I'm just asking.
No. It just means that the moon is supposed to be closer to the Earth than the other stars. So the moon itself is a star. Yes.
So if there's one sun in the universe, are there gonna be many other suns in like different universes? Like, is there gonna be amount changing of like, because there are different universes created by Krishna, right?
Yes.
And then how is there like more suns or like same amount of sun, or like is there more than just one sun?
Well, there's one sun in every universe.
Okay.
That's what we should understand. Okay. So let me read this purport again. It appears from this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam that the sun is the source of light for all the planets in the universe. The modern scientific theory, which states that there are many suns in each universe, is not supported by this verse. It is understood that in each universe there's only one sun. There it is, which supplies light to all the planets. In Bhagavad Gita, the moon is also stated to be one of the stars. So the moon is also just reflecting the light of the one sun in the universe. In the Bhagavad Gita, the moon is also stated to be one of the stars. There are many stars, and when we see them glittering at night, we can understand that they are reflectors of light. Just as moonlight is a reflection of sunlight, Other planets also reflect sunlight, and there are many other planets which cannot be seen by our naked eyes. The demoniac influence of the suns in the womb of the expanded darkness throughout the universe. So this is an important statement because we're not really sure if the so-called astronauts are going to the moon. They could very well be going to one of these dark, let's say, planets in the universe, because the moon is a heavenly planet, and it's not, a place that's barren and nobody's there and it's just dusty and things like that. The way they're describing it. See? That means they haven't really gone there, because there's this. We're going to read as we go along the description of the moon, and it's a heavenly planet. It's not this dusty. Well, first of all, look how bright it is. And the other thing is, you have telescopes, and telescopes. Sometimes they also take pictures with cameras, right, of the surface of the moon. It looks like a very, barren place. So you have to ask the question here: which narration are we going to believe? The narration of the scientists, or what's explained in Bhagavatam as the moon. So ultimately, there might be serious differences between the two explanations. We should believe the explanation of the Bhagavatam, not that of the scientists. First of all, none of the scientists have gone to the moon. So even though they use telescopes and things like that, unless you actually go to the moon, you will not really understand what it is. And this has been said also. This was said by George Bush. He said, "Well, we've got to go there to see what it's really like," which is a fact. Unless you actually go there and land there, and then you won't really understand what it's really like. And basically, we're just speculating. Okay, so text 3. The fortunate demigod said, "O great one, just see this darkness, which you know very well, and which is causing us anxieties, because the influence of time cannot touch you. There is nothing unmanifest before you." Purport. Brahma is addressed herein as Vibhu and as the personality of Godhead. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead's incarnation of the mode of passion in the material world. He is non-different in the representative sense from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore the influence of time cannot affect him. The influence of time, which manifests as past, present, and future, cannot touch the higher personalities like Brahma and other demigods. Sometimes demigods and great sages who have attained such perfection are called Trikalagya. Well, Trikalagya means they can see and understand past, present, and future. It's very special. And to be able to do that, it means you're a very exalted personality. Okay, so when it says Brahma is addressed herein as Vibhu, and as the personality of Godhead, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead's incarnation of the mode of passion in the material world. Well, there's goodness, passion, and ignorance. So uh, we understand people when by what mode of nature they're in. And of course, there can be mixtures of modes. But some people are in the mode of goodness, some people are in the mode of passion, some people are in the mode of ignorance. In the mode of passion, people are active and they move, and they produce things like, cars and rockets and all kinds of things. And they are very always on the move, getting things done. So, whenever, so it says here, Brahma is addressed herein as Vibhu and as the personality of Godhead. Well, he's not exactly the personality of Godhead, he's almost, because of his ability to do so many things in the universe, his powers. Obviously, he's invested in these powers because he's an exceptional devotee, Lord. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead's incarnation of the mode of passion in the material world. So that means that he's going to do things. When the mode of passion, you do things, you get things done. Where other people don't have all that energy to get something done, but someone's in the mode of passion. They build things, they create things, they do so many things because they're passionate. They must be active all the time. So, therefore, it says here, Brahma is the Supreme Personality Godhead's incarnation of the mode of passion in the material world. He is non-different in the representative sense. That's a very important term, in the representative sense, from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in other words, he's doing the work of Krishna in one specific way. And therefore, he's endowed with this extraordinary power of creating things as like a secondary creator. He is non-different in a representative sense from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore the influence of time cannot affect him. The influence of time, well, what's the influence of time? People get old, and they eventually die, right? So it's not influencing. Why? Because he's doing very important work for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he's being blessed and having an extremely long life. And while he's under the protection of the Lord, he doesn't die.
Maharaj?
Yeah.
Brahma has also a limited time, like 100 years. So by that definition,
It's not our 100 years.
not our 100 years.
Yeah.
But by that definition, that he is controlled by time.
Well, yes, but he's not, but the time that he's controlled by is much, much longer than what we can imagine.
Okay.
So it looks like, it doesn't
look
die.
like, yeah.
We will be born and dying many, many times
Yes.
before Brahma leaves his body. Okay, so there's is an incarnation of the mode of passion in this material world. He is non-different in the representative sense from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's because he has so many powers. So that means that he is a empowered person by the Supreme Personality of God. and because of his empowerment, he can do remarkable things. Very special, a very special person. And therefore, the influence of time cannot affect him. Well, there you are. Influence, in other words, it doesn't look like he's getting old. The influence of time, which manifests as past, present, and future, cannot touch higher personalities like Brahma and other demigods. So you should remember this point very much, because sometimes people represent God or represent the demigods, and they speculate and think they have, gray hair and wrinkles and so forth. Like, for example, why don't you look up right now the Sistine Chapel? That's the,
Even in the movies, Brahma is having white hair and white beard.
Yeah.
So, but when we are saying he's not in his time, so he won't get old.
yeah, that's
That's
Yeah.
wrong.
That's what I'm saying. Look up the Sistine Chapel right now. Michelangelo was definitely, instructed by the Pope at that time, or the popes, how to represent God. And he represented God as an old man with white hair and wrinkles and things like that. So look up the Sistine Chapel and see if there's a picture. Yes.
Yes.
Pictures. I'm covered in a bunch of like, I don't know, but he's surrounded by a bunch of guys or
Angels.
angels. Okay. And there's a red thing around him, and there's some green scarf kind of thing floating off. And it's like there's land and there's this naked guy, and they're reaching out hands.
Okay, so
Can't really describe it. Let me get it closer.
you have a good picture of this.
This.
Yeah, I'm sharing
Take
it.
a look at this.
Yeah.
Does he look like an old man?
Yeah.
They don't. And Michelangelo was only following what the Pope told him.
Here it says, Maharaj, the painting purpose, the walls and the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel were painted by numerous artists over the next few decades. The purpose of these paintings was to give glory to God, to honor the Pope, and to create an unparalleled artistic masterpiece.
Well, it might be a nice artistic masterpiece, but it's based on speculation, not based on the truth or shastric evidence. So it says here, Brahma is addressed here in as Vibhu and as the personality of Godhead. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead's incarnation of the mode of passion in the material world. He is non-different in the representative sense from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore the influence of time cannot affect him. That's the whole point. The influence of time cannot affect him, so he doesn't get to be an old man, put it like that. And Krishna also, he never gets older than maybe 16 years old, or maximum 20 years old. So all these representations of anyone, any of these great personalities as old man is not correct. They as it says here, therefore the influence of time cannot affect him. The influence of time, which manifests as past, present, and future, cannot touch higher personalities like Brahma and other demigods. Sometimes demigods and great sages who have attained such perfection are called Trikalagya. That means they're existing in in the past, the present, and the future. So they're exceptional. they're not like us. They're subject to birth, death, old age, and disease.
Like Maharaj, Brahma is once he is born, he's same size. The physical don't change. Okay.
He doesn't get old. All right, next 4. O God of the demigods, sustainer of the universe, head jewel of all the demigods and other planets. You know the intentions of all living entities in both the spiritual and material worlds. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Because Brahma is almost on an equal footing with the personality of Godhead, he is addressed here as the God of the demigods. And because he is the secondary creator of this universe, he is addressed as the sustainer of the universe. He is the head of all the demigods, and therefore he is addressed here as the head jewel of the demigods. It is not difficult for him to understand everything which is happening in both the spiritual and material worlds. He knows everyone's heart and everyone's intention. Therefore, he was requested to explain this incident. Why was the pregnancy of deity causing such anxieties all over the universe? So we're getting a lot of information in here about who Brahma is and what he's capable of doing. And that's important. Okay, so go to the next 5. O original source of strength and scientific knowledge, all obeisances unto you. You have accepted the differentiated mode of passion from the Supreme Personality of God. With the help of external energy, you are born of the unmanifested source. All obeisances unto you. Yeah, Brahma was not born in a normal way. And purport, Prabhupada says, the Vedas are the original scientific knowledge for all departments of understanding. And this knowledge of the Vedas was first impregnated into the heart of Brahma by the Supreme Personality of God. In other words, Brahma didn't go to school. And he wasn't, attending classes, or he wasn't studying to become Brahma. He impregnated into his heart by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, Brahma is the original source of all scientific knowledge. He is born directly from the transcendental body of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, who is never seen by any creature of this material world and therefore always remains unmanifested. Well, that's a very significant statement, you see. There are a lot of mysterious things that are happening in this world. We can't see them. We can't see the perpetrators of those things. But they're happening. Like, for example, the child in the womb of a mother, how it develops from the sperm and the ovum of the mother. It's completely mysterious. We don't understand how it's happening. Somebody's controlling it, otherwise it wouldn't be able to happen. Right? And all that information is in little sperm, microscopic sperm coming from the father. It's all mystery. It's all things that people don't understand, even though there's so many scientists and they say that they're doing this research and that research, but they can't research something that is beyond their ability to understand. When you understand something, it means that you've seen it, you've measured it, you predict it, you predict its activities and so forth. But in the case of things like the creation and birth of a child, it's a mystery how it happens. I mean, people can say things, but they don't really understand how it's happening. And they can't emulate it. They can't do it themselves. They can't create a baby from scratch. Let's put it like that. It has to start from an embryo. They can't create the embryo itself. So here it says the Vedas is the original scientific knowledge for all departments of understanding. So if you read Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the top Vedic literature, then you'll understand all departments of understanding and this knowledge of the Vedas. Okay, so you understand all departments of understanding. In other words, all knowledge. And it's the original scientific knowledge for all departments of understanding. And this knowledge of the Vedas was first impregnated into the heart of Brahma by the Supreme Personality of God. Therefore, Brahma is the original source of all scientific knowledge. Whoa, you want to be a scientist. And then you have to read Bhagavatam and understand who Brahma is and how he attained his exceptional knowledge of how to create things. He's secondary creator, second to Krishna himself. He is born directly from the transcendental body of Garbhodaksha Vishnu. So he doesn't have a mother and father. He's born from the body of Garbhodaksha Vishnu, who is never seen by any creature of this material world. So how can a scientist know of the source of Brahma or the existence of Garbhodaksha Vishnu if you can't see him? That's why there are many unseen things in this universe. Many, many unseen things. And it says Garbhodaksha Vishnu, who is never seen by any creature of this material universe, and therefore always remains unmanifested. Brahma is stated here to be born of the unmanifested. He is the incarnation of the mode of passion in material nature, which is the separated external energy of the Supreme Lord. But that means that we're always going to be flummoxed. That's a nice word, flummoxed. By things that are happening in the universe, because many things are happening and we can't see them. We see the result, but we can't see how it happens. So, therefore, when you're, let's say, faced with such a dilemma, you have to accept what the Shastras say, because you have no other way of figuring out what's going on.
Bewildered or perplexed.
Yes, bewildered or perplexed. Scientists are bewildered and perplexed. Because there's many things they can't figure out, how does this happen? Yeah, they have theories. It doesn't mean their theory is correct. And you see, when you read Bhagavatam, obviously you're learning about things that you can't see, that the scientists cannot see also. So you have to accept what's in the Bhagavatam. It is spoken by transcendental personalities. So, and scientists are definitely not transcendental personalities. I mean, the mundane scientists. Okay. He is born directly from the transcendental body of Garbhodaksha Vishnu, who is never seen by any creature of this material universe, and therefore always remains unmanifested. Brahma is stated here to be born of the unmanifested. He is the incarnation and mode of passion in material nature, which is the separated external energy of the Lord. So how are the scientists going to find out about Garbhodaksha Vishnu? Only by reading the Bhagavatam, not by their experimentation and their ability to, microscopes and telescopes. They're not going to see Garbhodaksha Vishnu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, it says Garbhodaksha Vishnu is unmanifested in this material universe. But he must be manifested outside the material. Is that
No,
right?
he's, well, I don't know about that, but he's like many other things in this universe that you can't see. Right? But if you're given the eyes to see, you can see it. So now we're given the mental eyes to see it by reading the Bhagavatam. Obviously, someone has seen Bhagavatam, otherwise they wouldn't be able to explain, who it is or his existence. So that means that we have very limited seeing, but we're expanding our knowledge of the universe by hearing the explanation of superior beings like Brahma and other, exalted devotees. They are able to see. We are not able to see with our raw eye. Someone's seeing, otherwise they wouldn't be able to describe it. So,
It's like I never seen the president. The president exists.
yeah, president exists. Yeah. You might not want to see him, but he's not a nice person. You don't want to get contaminated. Be the president. Okay, so Rama is stated here to be born of the unmanifested Bhagavatam Vishnu. He is the incarnation of the motive passion and material nature, which is the separated external energy of the Supreme Lord. When it says separated, it means that the Lord is not influenced by this energy that he has, the different energies that he has. So it's called separated energy of the Lord. It's not like we are under the control of modes of material nature. The Lord is not under the control of modes of material nature. So therefore, he's not influenced by these separated energies. All right. Text 6. O Lord, all these planets exist within yourself, and all the living entities are generated from you. Therefore, you are the cause of this universe, and anyone who meditates upon you without deviation attains devotional service. Well, right now we're meditating on Krishna, we're learning all about, who Krishna is, what he's doing, what pleases him, what doesn't please him, and so forth. So, if you meditate upon the Supreme Lord without deviation, you attain devotional service. Well, that's basically what's happening. Every day we're hearing about the transcendental activities of the Lord, and it inspires us to engage in devotional service. Devotional service means, by the mercy of Krishna, we can see his form in the form of the deity that's been consecrated correctly, and there's a reciprocal relationship with the deity. You're seeing the deity, and you're feeding the deity, and you are singing for the deity, and bathing the deity, changing the clothes of the deity. So you have a reciprocal type of relationship with the deity. Reciprocal means give and take. So what is the give is you're offering service. What does it take? That the more you decorate the deity, the more you become happy and transcendentally situated in this world. So therefore, we have opening of the deities every day. And devotees are very enthusiastic to see that, because the deity has different clothing, and different jewelry, and it's all exciting for the devotees. Okay, so text 6.
Maharaj, here.
Yeah.
All these planets exist within yourself. Trying to understand, we apply this to Krishna, but here demigods applying to Brahma, and we also read in the past all the universes are actually embedded in the lotus where he is sitting on. So how do we understand this statement here by the demigods?
Well, it just means that they have exceptional powers, or they're empowered by Krishna, and they're subordinate to Krishna. But they have so much powers that you could believe that they are like Krishna or equal to Krishna. But no one is actually equal to Krishna. But some living entities are so empowered by the Lord that they're able to do these mysterious and wonderful things. So unless you have real knowledge of Krishna, you could easily think that the demigods are Krishna. They're representatives of Krishna, they're servants of the Lord, and they're invested with unbelievably wonderful qualities and powers, but no one is equal or greater than the Lord.
Maybe, let's say, there are multiple cities in a country. The cities all are also in the country, but they're also in a state. State is a subset of the country, right? So is that how we can, in the sense, like everything is in Supreme Lord Krishna, but then within the purview of Lord Brahma, because he's the creator of this particular universe. So when they say like all these planets exist within yourself because they are created by Brahmaji for this particular universe. So it's like a subset. So it's and as a result, the both of statements are simultaneously true. Right, Mara?
Sounds right. Let's see here. It says, okay, so the Vedas are the original scientific knowledge for all departments of understanding. And this knowledge of the Vedas was first impregnated into the heart of Brahma by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, Brahma is the original source of all scientific knowledge. So there you go. That impregnated into the heart of knowledge by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, you didn't go to school, you didn't go to college, you didn't hear lectures, you didn't take tests. He's impregnated by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And therefore it says that Brahma is the original source of all scientific knowledge. He's born directly from the transcendental body of Garbhodaksha Vishnu. It means that he doesn't have a mommy and a daddy. He's directly born from the transcendental body of Garbhodaksha Vishnu, who is never seen by any creature of this material universe. So how would you know about this? Only by reading the Bhagavatam. It's something you can't see. Right? Therefore, always remains unmanifested, meaning Garbhodaksha Vishnu. Brahma is stated here to be born of the unmanifested. He is the incarnation of the motive passion in material nature, which is the separated external energy of the Supreme Lord. Well, it's external energy of the Supreme Lord. That means that it is Well, there's internal energy and there's external energy. Internal energy is something that you also cannot see, but is existing. And the external energy is also you can see the external energy. So Brahma is stated here to be born of the unmanifested. So you're not able to see Garbhodakshay Vishnu, from whom Brahma is born. He is the incarnation, mode of passion, and material nature, which is the separated external energy of the Supreme Lord. So when it's separated external energy, you can see it. Okay. Let's read this again. The Vedas are the original scientific knowledge for all departments of understanding. And this knowledge of the Vedas was first impregnated into the heart of man by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So it's not mundane knowledge that, you have to study or read books, take tests and things like that. It's impregnated into the heart of man by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, Brahma is the original source of all scientific knowledge. He is born directly from the transcendental body of Garbhodakshay Vishnu, who is never seen by any creature of this material universe. So how can scientists see these things? That's why there are many unseen things that are going on in the universe. You can only understand them by the result of their activity, but you cannot see them or their let's say, origin in the material world. He is born directly from the transcendental body of Garbhodakshay Vishnu, who is never seen by any creature of this material universe, and therefore always remains unmanifested. Brahma is stated here to be born of the unmanifested. He is the incarnation of the mode of passion in material nature, which is the separated external energy of the Supreme Lord. Well, that's the material nature. But Garbhodakshay Vishnu, you cannot see him. But yet, he's the source of so many things. And it says, who is never seen by any creature of the material world, and therefore always remains unmanifested. That's extremely significant statement. There are many unseen things in this world. And that's why there are a lot of mysteries about how things are happening. If we understand that, then we can't really speculate about it. But if we don't understand that, then we think we can speculate about so many things that we don't understand. I wanted to look that up. Look up, is speculation a part of scientific research? In spiritual life, you're not allowed to speculate.
But in the scientific process, we can first ask a question and then you hypothesize, like coming up with a hypothesis is speculation because you're guessing what is happening.
That's why scientists often change their theories.
Yeah, in the process, hypothesis. The only instance in science where speculation is productive is in the forming of a hypothesis.
Yeah, hypothesis is
There's
the theory that you think is the cause of something. Yes.
Yes, speculation is considered a critical part of science. It says that.
Yeah. It should say hypocritical, not critical.
But I think for them, speculation is kind of the road, right, Maharaj? Because hypothesis is where everything starts. And you're speculating to form a hypothesis. And they also say this, which is kind of interesting. In this sense, speculation is only productive if it leads ultimately to experimental measurements.
Yeah.
So only if you can measure, and
How can you measure something like Gopala
exactly,
Vishnu? You
because you're
can't see
saying
it.
there's things you can't see,
Yeah.
they're unmanifested, and you're trying to fit everything into this thing that you can only understand and see.
Mhm.
Empirical.
It says here, however, speculation is often discouraged because it can lead to errors. And it also says, for example, string theory is based on speculations that cannot be tested.
That's what's happening today. Scientists are coming up with speculations that cannot be tested. And sometimes they claim that it was tested, like, for example, okay, there were some theories of Einstein, and then later on, there was claims that his theory was tested and found to be factual. You can look that up. Einstein made a bunch of theories, and later on, people claimed that they did experiments, tested his theory, and found out that it was actually correct. That's why he's such a famous person. Because he made some theories, and then later on, when there was testing going on, they claimed that his theory now was tested and shown to be correct. Yes.
Albert Einstein's theories of relativity have been proven to be true many times since their publication over 100 years ago. Some of the things Einstein proved include universal speed limit,
What?
strong.
Some of the things. What?
Some of the things Einstein proved include universal speed limit, strong lensing, weak lensing, micro lensing, black holes, relativistic jets, relativistic jets, gravitational vortex, and gravitational waves.
Okay, go back to this. Clear. Read it again from the beginning.
Okay. Albert Einstein's theories of relativity have been proven to be true many times since their publication over 100 years ago. Some of the things Einstein proved include universal speed limit, strong lensing, weak lensing, micro lensing, black holes, relativistic.
Let's look up black holes.
You want to read this? Read here.
The very existence of black holes, extremely dense objects from which no light can escape, is a prediction of general relativity. They represent the most extreme distortions of the fabric of space-time.
Distortions of the fabric.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of space-time, and are especially famous for how their immense gravity affects light in weird ways that only Einstein's theory could explain. In 2019, the Event Horizon Telescope international collaboration, supported by the National Science Foundation and other partners, unveiled the first image of a black hole's event horizon, the border that defines a black hole's point of no return. For nearby material,
So,
Okay, you
that's it.
see, this
Yes.
whole theory of a black hole, it's something you'll never see, and you'll never be able to determine if it actually is right or wrong.
Yeah. There's no place that light cannot penetrate.
Yeah. So you have no choice but to believe what they say, right?
Yeah.
That is the nature of science today. They come up with theories that you really can't see or experiment on.
Yeah. There are some videos they make. The black holes are eating the light.
Yeah. In other words, whatever goes in a black hole never comes out.
Yeah.
But then again, they find out that yes, there are some things they're sucked into the black hole and then they also come out.
Mm.
So they change their theory.
And so they say, they elongate the theory, say the black holes are going to eat the universes.
Yeah. So you see, are they actually scientists when they come up with theories only? A theory doesn't mean that it's the truth. It means that there's some predictability by the theory
Yeah.
of what's going to happen.
Kind of intelligent guess.
Yeah. So if you get 50%, 50% of the time that the theory is working, then it's some kind of a scientific theory. But it's not 100%. That's why it's a theory. So whatever Krishna says is 100%. Whatever, and there are some things that you can't experiment to establish their existence. They're happening in a mysterious way that there's no. So they come up with different theories, and the theory that has the most predictability is called a scientific theory. But that it's like predictability up to 50%. Then it's called a scientific theory. It's not 100%. 100% is the truth. Right?
It says here that one of the jets visible on the right of the image is pointing almost exactly toward Earth. Its enhanced brightness is Its enhanced brightness is due to the emission of light from particles traveling toward the observer of near the speed of light, an effect called relativistic beaming. By contrast, the other jet is invisible at all wavelengths because it is traveling away from the observer near the speed of light. The details of how such jets work are still mysterious, and scientists will continue studying black holes for more clues. So they're still studying it.
Therefore, they don't have 100% knowledge of what it is. They're still going to continue their speculation.
Maharaj, so previously we read when Brahma gave up one of his body, it turned into a dark cloud, dense cloud. Does that infer that the darkness is also emission from Krishna? Because the darkness can be created because when Brahma leaves his body.
We'll come to it. I mean, all these things are going to be explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. We'll come to that.
Another statement today we discuss is the darkness leads to anxiety, Maharaj.
Yeah.
We'll be able to elaborate on and connection to the anxiety and darkness.
If there's complete darkness, you can't see anything, you become anxious, right?
Yes.
If you're in a dark tunnel, you don't know, maybe there's an alligator, on your way, but you can't see it until it bites you. So it's very scary. I always had dreams of myself. When I was younger, I was having a recurrent dream of being stuck in a very tight cave that I went in and I couldn't get out. Right? And I don't know why I was having that dream. I stopped having that dream after I became a devotee. But when I was not a devotee, it must have been something that happened to me in previous life. The fear of being stuck in like a cave and I can't get out. I'm stuck because I somehow or other forced my way into it, but then I couldn't get out. Right? And and I'd be struggling to get out, and then I'd wake up and I realized, oh my God, so many demons, thank God. There are things like that. Maybe I experienced that in a previous life. Okay,
Yeah, Maharaj.
that's done. Yeah, okay. Well, the main thing is Garbhodakshay Vishnu, who is never seen by any creature of the material universe, therefore always remains unmanifested. Therefore, there are things that are unmanifest that are causing things that are manifest. Therefore, how are you going to be able to understand when the cause is unmanifest? So we think about that today. That should be our meditation.
Mm.
That means that the only way you can understand it is to read the Shastras, because you can't see it.
And the unmanifested word only implies for the material world, right, Maharaj? Because when it's unmanifested, we cannot just see with our senses, five senses.
The scientists say if it's unmanifested, we can't see it, we can't measure it, we ignore it. So therefore, scientific knowledge of the scientists is always incomplete, because there are things that they just ignore it because they say we can't measure it, therefore we ignore it.
It's like soul, you exclude the soul part.
Yeah,
Simply.
so we can't measure it, therefore we ignore it. So that's not really science. Hare Krishna. All those
Any other quick comments or questions online? If there are none, then we'll. Hello.
Where did we stop? What text?
We
47.
yeah, we are. No, we are in the 15th chapter, sixth.
Oh, okay. Good. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Hare Krishna.